This is the Phillies POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Phillies POSTCAST on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Mark Farzetta with you. A little bit of a different setup this time around. I'm actually in the Wells Fargo Center following a Flyers game in between the Flyers and Ings lacrosse game, with which I'm also the PA announcer for, but I couldn't miss the opportunity to celebrate a Philadelphia Phillies victory, breaking their brief two-game schneid. This one with a 4-1 victory over the St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome into the show. This is Locked On Phillies POSTCAST and Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. I know Connor Thomas has you covered when it comes to all your Phillies needs for your daily podcast. And when it comes to your postcast, that's where I got you after each and every Phillies game. Again, they get the 4-1 victory, and you have Cristopher Sanchez playing the role of the stopper, just like that. Couldn't have worked out better. So let's start it out with, as we always do, with three big things. Number one, Cristopher Sanchez using the ground ball to get out of just about every jam that he was in. And when it wasn't a ground ball double play, it was Orion Kerkering coming in to handle the business for the Phillies today. As the bullpen came in to also go out there and get you some huge innings yet again. And pretty much everyone in the bullpen, not named Joe Ross, has gotten the job done for the Phillies as of late. And you'll love to see that. Cristopher Sanchez goes out there today, gets you 6 1/3 innings of work. He's also able to go out there and use that changeup to just dominate the Cardinals bats today. So Cristopher Sanchez, the first thing that we're going to kick around, and as you would assume, without question, he is also your player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
When it came to Sanchi today and what he was able to do for you, he gives up a leadoff walk in that first inning to Nootbaar, and then he gets Baker to be able to ground into the 6-4-3 double play on a sinker, gets another sinker to induce another double play on the 4-3 put out there in the second inning to get Donovan to go into that, first with the 1-out single, and then Walker into the 4-3 double play. Third inning is probably the best case scenario here for Cristopher Sanchez getting out of a jam, and that's why in this third inning, that's why we're going to call it the turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Very simple. Bases loaded situation. You have already induced 2 other double plays. Can he go 3 straight innings by getting a big double play? Absolutely he can. This one he's able to get on a changeup that he throws low in the zone to Baker, and he grounds into the 6-3 double play. Bases loaded jam. No more. Cristopher Sanchez finds his way out of that one. And then he was on cruise control in the 4th inning, a 1-2-3 inning, his first of the ball game, actually. So actually his easiest one for Cristopher Sanchez. 5th inning, Phillies are able to get a little bit more offense for him with Bryson Stott getting an RBI double. 6th inning works himself into some trouble. Unfortunately, doesn't have the magic to get out of that inning to help the Phillies. But that's again when Orion Kerkering came in and the bullpen took over to make sure they locked up this victory and got off that 2-game schneid. That's the first thing we'll talk about. That's Cristopher Sanchez. The second thing is Nick Castellanos. When you need some consistent hitting, I can't think of a better way for Nick Castellanos to get back into the swing of things than the way he did in the first inning. Phillies again going with the similar lineup that you saw from last night. The only difference, JT Realmuto being back in the order, so Alec Bohm gets pushed down a spot in the order. Rafael Marchand not rounding out this Phillies order. So in the first inning, you get an opportunity there where you get both guys on base from Bryce Harper and also Kyle Schwarber, again, the lefty and lefty back-to-back in this lineup today in your 3 and 4 spot. And you see Nick Castellanos go out there down in the count 0-2. And this is one of the best parts of the at-bat besides just the result. Nick Castellanos is down in that at-bat 0-2. Michaelos throws in the slider well outside of the plate. He does not offer at it, does not check swing, does not swing at it, nothing. Lets it go. So now you got a 1-2 count. Then I think on the very next pitch, it was a fastball over the middle of the plate that he's able to put into the left field gap to plate 2 runners, both Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. You love to see that for Nick Castellanos. That was his first of 3 hits on the day as he gets his average back up to over 300 on his 3-for-4 days. So Nick Castellanos, certainly the second most important thing we could talk about in this game today. Right after that, I would love, and when I was writing my notes out after it happened, I said, you know what, this is going to be the third of the 3 biggest things. Alec Bohm got off the schneid, if you want to call it that, with just a well-placed ground ball to shortstop. Right place, right time, too far in the hole to throw him out at first base. So it's recorded as an infield single for Alec Bohm. He breaks the 0 for 20 streak at that point going into the game. However, he struck out in the top of the ninth or top of the eighth inning, I think it was, and got right back into another schneid. Hopefully, it's just that, and he'll brush it aside and get into the swing of things again. But again, you see the frustration from Alec Bohm at that moment. You would think maybe a little bit of relaxation from Alec Bohm, being that he finally got on base. And not only did he get on base later in the game, the seventh inning, I think, is when he came around to score. Yeah. Not only did he come around to score in that seventh inning, or not only did he get on base with a hit and break the schneid, he came around to score. Little station to station sacrifice by Brandon Marsh to get him to second base. Then Bohm was able to take third base on a deep fly ball, sac fly, takes third, and then comes home to score on Trea Turner's single. So for me, I would think that would help him tremendously in terms of confidence, but showed exactly the same amount of frustration that we have seen from him time and time again. And I'm the one that's been supporting him as far as, let him be frustrated. As long as he's not throwing the hissy fits that other people will term it as, then I'm fine with it. But when it comes to Alec Bohm going out there today and actually getting that hit, playing good defense, doing what he's been doing as far as the hot corner goes, let that confidence build. A little disappointing to see him come to the plate again in the ninth inning and have a similar struggle, swinging on an outside fastball that he just wasn't able to time or foul off. And again, you see that frustration immediately dropping the baseball. So I was all set to have him be the third most important thing from the game today, but I got to give the nod to the guys coming in out of the bullpen who really took over for Cristopher Sanchez in a fantastic way. When you talk about Orion Kerkering, Jordan Romano, and Jose Alvarado was able to pick up the save today for the Phils. Those three guys coming from the bullpen. They get 2 strikeouts, allow just 1 hit, and not issue a walk. That is clutch. And one great thing to say about Orion Kerkering, I don't know what you guys made of the strike zone today. A little erratic when you talk about Scott Barry of Ryan Howard fame all those years ago. If you know, you know. If you remember, you remember. But Orion Kerkering comes in that seventh inning. Phillies had just built up the 4-1 lead with Turner getting the RBI single in the top of the 7th. Bottom of the 8th inning, Sanchez starts out at 84 pitches. Unfortunately, allows 2 runners on base. Orion Kerkering comes in, gets Gorman to fly out to center field, and then Nootbaar steps up there for a 7-pitch at bat. And that's where you see that's where you see Orion Kerkering take over, buzzing a fastball on the inside corner of the plate, according to Scott Barry, and he gets Nootbaar looking to retire the side and get out of that jam. After that, Jordan Romano came in, did his job. Jose Alvarado came in, did his job. 11 pitches for Alvarado there in the 9th inning to secure the Phillies victory. And again, break the 2-game losing streak, if you want to call it that, with the Phils. When we come back, we're going to take a look at what you'll most likely be talking about tomorrow. And also, we'll get into the chat and see what you guys have to say about this Phillies victory. Good to see the Phillies get right back into the swing of things after maybe not arriving at 3:40 in the morning like they did yesterday. And hopefully go for the series win tomorrow. That's when we return on Locked On Phillies Postcast. Oh, you guys have heard me talking about Supply House before. How fantastic is Supply House? When we're talking about Supply House and supplyhouse.com, you get the supplies you need from the site made with the skilled trades Supply House at supplyhouse.com. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, or anything else when it comes to all that hard work, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources with the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast and easy from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support with industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person at supplyhouse.com. And for the trade pros looking for that extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like dedicated phone line as well as free shipping and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals already taking advantage. Now it's your turn to join Trade Master program at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order at supplyhouse.com. That's supplyhouse.com. Before we go any further, I think there's one thing that you guys will be kicking around tomorrow.
This is what you'll be talking about.
The fact, obviously, that the Phillies aren't going to be going into a 3-game losing streak. And now they have an opportunity to start out the season by winning 5 of the first 6 series of the season. That's a thing for your Phillies. You could be talking about Alec Bohm as well, at least breaking the streak that he was in, the slump that he was in. And you could also be talking about how Cristopher Sanchez went out there and bounced back from a not so great start the last time around to induce 5 double plays in his time out there to get the job. 4 double plays in his time out there. Phillies pitching in total, inducing 5, including the one to end the game. So you love to see that from your Phillies. As far as the chat check, let's see what you guys have to say about this victory today. I was lucky enough to watch it here at the Wells Fargo Center on the main concourse as the Flyers were actually winning a shootout game against the New York Islanders. So that was great. Let's see what you guys had to say about this one. Ari Stein, our resident Cardinals fan. Where you? There you go. Hat tip to the Phillies. That's what you get from a full night's sleep. Let's certainly hope they'll continue to get good night's sleeps after this one. Jess Patrick, what's going on? Early runs plus 5 double plays shuts the door in this one. I say Casti, player of the game. Casti, Sanchez, players of the game. You could certainly say 1 and 1A, no doubt. Mark K, what's going on? Surprise. Most surprising thing, Marsh got a bunt down. He did get a bunt down. I know some people were arguing for him to try to get the bunt in that awful Bryson Stott getting doubled off first base in the Dodgers series. Not so great at getting bunts down. He got it down in that situation there to get Alec Bohm from first to second. So that was great to see. Morgan Landy, hello. Great win with no homers. Series win comes tomorrow. I hope so. Evelyn, hello. Now that's a little more like it. Great game by our Phillies. Bam Man 100. Defense was weird today. Did great turning those double plays, but messed up a couple of routine things. The Bryson Stott drop in the 5th inning, I think he was struggling with, if he tries to get it with his glove, he's got to leave the bag. I don't think he realized how much time he had, so he rushed it when he didn't have to. I think if he catches the ball with his glove, he's got to leave the bag, come back to the base, but at least you get the lead runner in that situation. He was doing too much in a situation where I think he had a little bit more time than he realized. So that was one play that I'll look at. That certainly was a defensive botch there by the Phillies. Bam Man, thank you for the comment. Romano and Alvarado look great. Further that, okay. A work in progress. Still a lot to do, says Phillies 1. Jake S. Bohm and Marsh and JT, please get off this team already. Really, on JT? I know he was rather aggressive today. I haven't had a problem with Real Muto so far this year. Took the offer today. Kepler and Real Muto, the only ones with the offer. Marsh had an offer, but he also had the sack bunt. So not ideal when it comes to those 2 positions there for the Phils. Jake S., hello again. Struggling to score. Hopefully they don't struggle to score a run tomorrow. Keep it going. K-Rock Fitness, hello. Nice to see you. It's Mark with a C. Hope you had a good Rex Banning day. That's fancy looking copying machine. Thank you. It's my co-host today, the copy machine. Isn't it great? Little G Griffin, what's going on? I'm a big fan of the Phillies win. Game 9. Oh, they win the game tomorrow, 9-5. Is that your prediction? All right, everyone head over to FanDuel and make sure you guys get in on Lil G on what he's got to say. Woody Buzz, what's going on, Woody Buzz? Great win for the Phils. Absolutely. Go Birds. Go Birds. Nice Phillies win. 5 double plays. Phillies, let's go. Absolutely. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, you said the copy machine. Yes, thank you. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great, as per usual. I will be back in my normal studio tomorrow, breaking down the Phillies, of course, after they hopefully wrap up this series victory over the St. Louis Cardinals. Louis Adario, what's going on? How about Cassie starting the season? I can't get over it, really. The best thing, one of my favorite parts about this game, as great as it was for the Phillies to just get the win, was Castellanos laying off that slider in the first inning. He flails away at that slider like we see him do so many different times. We see him flail away at it. You don't get that inning. You don't give the 2-run lead there to Cristopher Sanchez, and maybe he's a little bit more tight on the mound, and maybe instead of getting ground balls to induce double plays, maybe he's trying to make a different pitch and tightens up a little too much, and those become, instead of rally killing double plays, they're balls that are hitting the gap, balls that are hit where the Phillies ain't, as they say. So certainly one thing to look at when you talk about the Phillies and their performance today. He meant the record's 9-5. Sorry. Mi scusi. Great win. Let's go Phillies, says Noah. Thank you very much, Noah. I appreciate that. This has been Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Sports, or excuse me, on the Locked On Phillies postcast, Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Again, Connor Thomas has you covered when it comes to all your Locked On daily Phillies podcast. I have you covered for your Locked On Phillies postcast, no matter where I am. Wells Fargo Center, my home studio, whatever it might be. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow from my home studio to hopefully talk about a Phillies season or series victory. See you then. Bye.